Alright guys, so I've pushed this along big time and I've gone through a bunch of steps that I'm going to try to talk to you about and remember what I did, right? So if you go back to the second video and see where this painting was at the end, I don't think the clouds were this way. And let's start here, okay? So the first layer was the crimson tinted field, right? Oh, hold on a second. All right, so it was the tinted field we had down over the whole painting. And then I went in with the white, a thin layer of white, and I developed that with more white, trying to build up the opaqueness of it. And so when I got to a certain layer, I was like, I wanted to push the white a little bit warmer. And so I used some of the burnt umber ultramarine blue mixture to make but it was more burnt umber, right? So it was more brownish than right in the middle between brown and blue, to make up a white, a really light brown white that went in there. Then I saw that wasn't working enough, pushing back that red coming through, right? So I went with the white again, but I went with the burnt sienna ultramarine blue combination, but I added more blue to it, and I think I added a little bit of purple in here, just a touch. So now it's cooled it off. So that's going to settle that down a little bit. And if you look at clouds, sometimes the shadow underneath it is a cool color, right? And it does have this warm stuff going on. So I've got more ideas about what I want to do here. Something happened along here while I was working on it, where I was thinking, I'm going to go in and put a white edge in here, along here, right, to accentuate that movement, and maybe even up in here, right, a white edge, right, so you know how sometimes clouds, they have that white edge and then the shadows underneath, so I'm going to do that in there, I'm thinking. I went over in here and I made up another dark blue with more of that burnt sienna ultramarine blue in it combination, but I also added more ultramarine blue, and I definitely added the purple into here, right? And there actually might be some sap green in there too. So you can see how it goes from lighter here to darker here, that creates a certain surface undulation that does that, right? So over in this corner down in here, I mixed up another blue with a combination of 3 blues I had and lots of white, and I went in over there again. So, and I wanted to have a soft transition from here up into here. So I think I established that pretty well in there, okay? Now, the fun part, the leaks. So there's the first leak I did, right? So I mixed up 3 greens. I mixed up a dark green, a lighter green, and an in-between green, which I haven't used yet, and I don't know if I need to use it. So this actually took a few coats. So what I did was I went in with my filberts. I got the paint to flow the right consistency I wanted. I did not overload the brush bristles with paint, and I actually went in this way, right, and attacked that edge in there by just going back and forth really light, okay? And so I got that in there, and then I went with the lighter green, and I worked up in here, here, and down in here, but once again, I was hunting for the right consistency of paint, the right amount of paint on my brush, and I went in here this way. Now, and I did it when the paint was wet and wet. I mean, the green was wet, the darker green was wet, and the lighter green was wet. I did that a couple times, right? Now, up in here, I lose the edge of that, what do you call it? Leak, right? So I might go back in with the blue and define that edge in there, right? Though I'm going to walk through in the next video, I'm going to walk through doing one of these, okay? So in here, you really want to be patient and take your time. And the key is making sure the paint flows off the brush in a way that it's helping you get that sharp edge in there, right? And then go back and work the lighter green And then when you get done, you can blend them together, which I kind of did with even another smaller brush down in here. Now up in there, I want the highlights because it's facing more towards the sun, right? But down in here, it turns away, so it wants to get a little darker. So I feel like that's doing pretty good. Now look at what's happening in here. With these in here to that. You see what I'm talking about, visual crispness and clarity? You just have to settle down every once in a while and really work these edges so they'll sing again, so they'll be sharp and you can see what's happening. I think we're headed in the right direction here. Once I get these guys done in here, this guy should start to pop and get the more opaque white in here along the edges of this cloud. I think it'll pop big time. I'm liking what happens in here right here. So I think I can like what's happening up in here as long as I establish this type of sensation in all of these. All right, guys. Though over here, what I might do is go more lighter, the lighter greens, because it's on near a dark background. In here, I could go the darker ones again because it's got the white clouds around it. But up in here, I might go light to darker, back to light in here. All right, this is going to be fun. All right, guys. Talk to you soon.